So you might be saying, but Aunt Carla, I don't want to be whole within myself. I want love. Yes, yes, I understand that. I really do. But if you're feeling especially needy, Virgo season is really a great time for you to explore why you're feeling that way. And remember, it's only 30 days and it won't kill you. Besides, Virgo season directly precedes Libra season, which is all about love and partnership. So do yourself a favor and use Virgo energy for healing and focusing on yourself. So you'll be ready for Libra season and all those love spells. You've probably heard the saying, timing is everything. And it's true. But it's especially true when it comes to magic. Whether it's the astrological season, the phases of the moon, or even the days of the week, you can plan your spells and rituals to be in alignment with the energies that are the strongest in real time. So tune into today's episode to learn how to use magical timing in your spells. Welcome to the You Are the Spell podcast with Aunt Carla. Join me each episode as I teach witches and other spiritual practitioners how to develop magical confidence and sovereignty in their practice. So let's start our talk about magical timing with the seasons. Now, if you think about our four seasons, spring, summer, winter, fall, we also have 12 astrological seasons. And I like to think of astrological seasons like the three sub-seasons within each one. So if you imagine the astrological seasons as a clock in the sky, you'll discover that certain times of the year provide the best energies for certain manifestation rituals. So from Aries to Pisces, each astrological season provides approximately 30 days to work through a particular energy that's the strongest. And even if the astrological season isn't your sun sign, you can still tap into its energy. So that means you can perform spells and rituals that are aligned with the best timing. And mundane actions taken at the right time are also more likely to bear fruit. And by the way, you don't need to be an astrology whiz in order to plan your rituals with these astrological seasons. You want to just work with the energy that the season cycles have to offer and go with the flow. Now, of course, if you are familiar with your natal birth chart, you can use that information to go even deeper. One of my favorite magical tools is aligning my desires with the monthly new moons, and which is a great time for planning. And in my membership group, Magical You, we have a monthly crayon coven for each new moon. And during this live session, we talk about the energies that are strongest, we set intentions, we draw and color in the monthly sigil, and then we activate it within a group manifestation ritual. Now, if the season's current theme doesn't seem to align with what you want, there are always other ways to work with the energy that is present. It just means that you have to be strategic. For example, let's say you wanted to call in a new romantic relationship, but we're in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is the sign of a virgin, so the energy might not be the strongest for attracting romance. However, an original interpretation of the word virgin was not about never having sex, but it was about being whole within yourself. So, a maiden or a virgin, she was complete within herself. So, you could use Virgo season to focus on self love and getting to know yourself better. You could learn new hobbies and skills. It would also be a great time for shadow work and to consider what you need in a relationship. So, the energy of Virgo could be used for self improvement and self satisfaction, which raises your vibration and makes you even more attractive. But you might be saying, but Aunt Carla, I don't want to be whole within myself. I want love. Yes, yes, I understand that. I really do. But if you're feeling especially needy, Virgo season is a great time to explain or to explore why you're feeling that way. Remember, it's only 30 days and it won't kill you. Besides, Virgo season directly precedes Libra season, which is all about love and partnership. So do yourself a favor and use Virgo energy for healing and focusing on yourself, and you'll be ready for Libra season and all the love spells. The way I see it, working with the signs of the new moon is like shopping at a farmer's market. You might be in the mood for strawberries, but watermelon happens to be in season. Now, if you had your heart set on strawberries, you can get frozen strawberries at the grocery store, but it won't have the same energy as fresh watermelon. So, by going with the flow and harnessing the energy that the season presents to you, the fruit salad that you create will taste amazing. So, let's start our chat about seasons with spring. And that's also including the subseasons of spring, which are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So every year, spring equinox happens around March 20th, March 21st. And it also marks Aries as the beginning of a new astrological cycle. So the astrological cycle starts in Aries in spring and it ends in Pisces, which is winter. So Aries is the baby, Pisces is the old person. And that happens, year after year after year. So the spring equinox, so after being winter and cold and all these different things, then it becomes spring. So this is like a new cycle. And the spring equinox is when daylight returns. It marks Aries as the beginning of the new cycle. And as the light increases, you may begin to feel a build of imaginative and creative energy within your mind and body. And spring to me is also a time of feeling like this itchy kind of almost angry energy because we've been cooped up for the winter and we're like, I want to wear less clothes, or I want to take off this jacket, I want to go outside, I want to do stuff with my friends, I'm so tired of being inside, I'm tired of it being cold. You know what that's all about. Well, that energy that you feel is also spring. That's spring, like growing within you. And when you think about plants that, or the flowers that are blooming in spring, think about how strong they need to be, how hot they need to be. When you think about crocuses or snowdrops and even daffodils, those are the flowers that bloom during spring. So, in order for them somehow bloom through frozen ground and bloom through the snow, they have to literally burn their way up out through the earth in order to bloom. So we're also feeling that heat. We are also burning to get out and to do things. So that is also that feeling of spring. Now, spring, it also presents this opportunity to take the time to release your fears and set new intentions for yourself. Remember, this is a new cycle. It's a brand new cycle, and the new year actually starts spring equinox, not in January. Because if you're thinking January, I don't feel like starting a diet, I don't feel like going to the gym, it's very natural that it doesn't feel that way because it's still cold outside. It doesn't feel natural, and there's a reason for that because the real beginning of the year is spring. So this is the time to set those new intentions. Celebrate also during spring the freshness of life. Things are starting to become green again, flowers are starting to bloom. So, this is a time to raise your energy and regenerate abundance and manifest your dreams. This is a new opportunity to begin again. So, you want to reconnect with your deeper desires and remember to play. So, there are 3 new moons within the spring season. So, I like to think of these seasons as sub seasons within spring: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So when Aries hits, it happens March 20th, 21st, around the spring equinox. And then that is all about, those themes are new starts, new life, self care, self love. If you think of Aries as being the baby of the astrological cycle, a baby is all about self. They're totally focused on whatever they want, and other people are catering to them. So this is a great time to do spells for you want a new job, you want a new love, or you want to work on yourself, or you just want to think about, okay, what is it that I want? Well, Aries is the time for those kind of rituals and spells for sure. And the energy is definitely strong and appropriate at that time. And then about 30 days later, we're in Taurus, the season of Taurus. Now, for that new moon, I recommend these themes. Those themes are developing boundaries and values, routines and habits, your physical body, creativity, children, comfort, security. So you have a lot to play with if you want to do any kind of spells or rituals around those things. So again, if you are thinking about, okay, I want to lose weight or something like that, what are your routines and habits? What is your physical body doing? It's also sensuality, but also security. So security also uh, is important because Tauruses are earth signs. So it's also about making money. It's about having material gains and feeling good about what's in your pocket and your body itself. It's children and creativity as well. So maybe you want to have more fun with your kids. Perhaps you want to have a baby, or you want to increase your creativity. So that is a really great time, Taurus season, for rituals and spells to deal with those themes. And then next up in the spring season, we have the subseason of Gemini. And Gemini rules communication, technology, partnership, social events. Gemini is an air sign. It's very chatty, chitty, chatty, and it's about, talking, communication. Perhaps you want to increase in communication, or you want to go to networking events or parties, partnership with your partner, whether it's romantic or business wise. It's also family, your siblings, what's going on in those areas of your life, and also technology. Now, we have communication and technology represented within the Gemini season. So you might want to think about that could be things from writing a book, starting a new website, starting a podcast. All of those things are going to be really strong under the Gemini season. So if these are things that you want to work on, whether using magic or are more like mundane actions, Gemini is that time. So spring is about that new season, the new astrological season, the new the new year. And Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are the subseasons that get you started. So let's talk about the season of summer and its subseasons, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So the summer solstice at the time of this recording is coming up like next week. And the June 21st is the time of the summer solstice. And that's when the light is the most available to us here. And the earth is at the height of her strength and abundance, and you can celebrate your strength and personal growth as well. Summer is a time of renewal, love, and expansion. Seeds have been planted in the earth, and you can plant new seeds of intention as well. I happen to like to garden, it's one of my new hobbies, and I learn a lot about the seasons and myself and even magic by tapping into the seasons and planting intentions. So, the summer is a time to tap into the blossoming energy of life and transmute it into fulfilling your desires. So, the seasons, or the astrological seasons of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo allow us to do that. So, first up, we have Cancer, which comes when we have like the new moon or when we have the summer solstice. That lets us know that Cancer is now here. The season of Cancer is here. Now, Cancer season is definitely very psychic, very intuitive. And the themes that are represented during Cancer season are intuition, goddess work, dreams, emotions, home, family, healing, female fertility, motherhood, and reconciliation, like all of those all of those feelings of coming back home and also being psychic and intuitive, all of that happens around Cancer. A lot of dreams, people tend to dream a little more often. I know I do. I don't usually remember my dreams, but around Cancer season, like those watery seasons, I feel like I'm dreaming all over the place. And then some people find themselves being very emotional during Cancer, feeling more watery, feeling more emotional, feeling the feels. That is one of those things that happens during Cancer season. Now, female fertility is something I mentioned as well. So if you want to get pregnant, Cancer season is a good time to do any kind of magic, or just, procreate during that time. It's also could be a good time to get closer to your mother, or like reconcile whatever feelings about motherhood you have. It's also great for healing, family, cooking, nurturing, all of the things. If you also want to work on your psychic powers, you want to dig deeper into your third eye, all of that Cancer energy is fantastic for that. So, next up, we have the Leo season, and that's in August. And if you know anything about Leo, Leo is the sign of the actor, it is the sign of royalty. So, it's all about self awareness, self expression, performance, public speaking, courage. It's about play, it's about enthusiastic sex, it's about drama. So, if you're an actor, for example, this is a great time to be planting seeds, doing spells, doing rituals for your acting career. If you are a someone who wants to get into public speaking, this is a great time to take actions on both the magical and the mundane level. Courage, you wanting to do something new, you want to break some habits. Leo is also a good time for that. But also definitely self-expression. This is the time to be yourself and to allow people to see the real you. That's what Leo will you might feel that desire to speak your truth no matter what, or to just show us who you really are, and to really notice all of that for yourself. That is what Leo is really, really good for. So if there are any spells, rituals, or mundane actions that you want to perform at that time, Leo is the time. Next up, we have Virgo. I was talking about Virgo earlier, about saying it was a sign of the virgin. And virgin does not mean that you've never had sex before. Virgin, the original interpretation, means that you are whole within yourself, that you do not need another person for fulfillment. It doesn't mean that you'll never have fulfillment with another person, but it just means being totally chill and cool and satisfied to be yourself and to be by yourself. I remember, like after my divorce, I spent time living alone, which I don't know if I'd ever really done before my divorce. And I had to learn how to be alone. I had to learn how to be happy, just to be able to enjoy my own company. And if you were feeling any of those things, any of those tugs when you're like, I just want to be with someone, look at that neediness to be with someone else. Of course, it is a human desire, and nothing, it's totally natural to want to be with someone. I'm not knocking that at all, but I'm also saying that Virgo is a great time to get to know yourself and to learn how to love yourself, do any healing that you might need to do in that area in order to be ready for that relationship that you really want to be in, as opposed to jumping into a relationship simply because you're lonely. Virgo season is also about taking courses. It's about self knowledge, learning skills, and a lot of people. This is like going back to school season, right? So this is when people are going back to school. They might be taking courses. They might be reorganizing their home, getting ready for, right before the fall shows up. So reorganization, celibacy, course correction, discernment, service, self knowledge, those are the themes that are prevalent during the Virgo season. So when you are choosing what kind of rituals or spells or even mundane actions to take, keep those themes in mind. If you want to learn more about using magical timing in your spells, sign up for my Spellcraft mini course. The link is in the description below. All right, the next season and the season cycles are autumn and its subseasons of Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. The autumn equinox is the time of the harvest, and this is the time for honoring the efforts and intentions that you have set earlier in the year and to acknowledge all that you have in your life. What have you accomplished? And this is also a time to recognize the life lessons that you've received, good and bad. And this is a time for what I call a personal harvest because it creates room for new visions to grow. So it's time to go within and empty out that internal space so you can be still and incubate new ideas during the next season of winter. Fall, it marks a season of growth, and as you become silent and you rest and you chill out, you're allowing space for a greater version of yourself to emerge. So, as the days get shorter and the nights grow longer, don't be afraid to face your inner darkness. Instead, prepare for the birth of your inner light at the winter solstice. Acknowledge your spiritual path and honor your own light and growth. So, we have Libra up first. And Libra happens at the time of the autumn equinox. It is the first season, and it's about partnership, conflict resolution, and being supported. It's also about justice. Some people like to do a lot of karmic work at this time, but it's partnership, it's love, it's also romance, but it's also about getting along and having better communication with the people in your life, both personally and professionally. Next up, we have Scorpio, which of course we all love because that's around the time we are getting ready for Halloween or Samhain. And that's a great time for working with ancestors. It's good time for shadow work, healing, and so there's also the reproductive organs and transformation. All of those things are also covered under Scorpio. So if you're going to do rituals or spells around contacting your ancestors, shadow work magic is a great time, but definitely healing as well. And then we have Sagittarius, and that subseason, that astrological season, it rules independence, exploration, travel, higher learning. So this is a great elevated uh, time for doing rituals around those things. So maybe you want to go on a trip, or maybe you just want to go ahead and take a trip. Perhaps you want to go back to school. This is about Sagittarius is the sign of the bachelor, meaning just going out, being independent, doing what you want, being an explorer, being an adventurer, all of those things. So if there's any way that those themes you can tap into those themes for anything that you are trying to call into your life, then that is that time. So, autumn, fall, it's the time of the harvest. It's the time for assessing everything. It's about saying, okay, this is what I've done so far. It's going back to looking at what you started in spring or maybe what you started in January and saying, okay, what have I done? How far have I come? Do I still want to continue on this path? Do I want to do something different? What do you want to do? This is a time for taking stock, taking inventory. So we have Libra with the partnership, conflict resolution being supported. Have those themes. Scorpio is ancestor work, shadow work, healing, the more darker um, places that we do need to go from time to time. And Sagittarius, which is kind of like a result where it's a little more independence and adventure and travel, exploring, and higher learning, going back to school. So keep those themes in mind when it comes to planning your spells and rituals for the fall. Now we're going to come full circle with our seasons with a discussion about winter solstice or winter and its subseasons: Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So we have the winter solstice around December 21st, and it marks a sacred time of rest and reflection before awakening to the slow build of brighter days. Winter is about going within. And this inward journey, it reflects a creative darkness and a silence from which new inspirations can eventually emerge. So, this is a time to allow yourself to feel emotions and experience your own darkness, because this is where your inner light and new life is born. So, with the solstice, there's a metaphor of the sun standing still. And it's a reminder of your ability to change the direction of your life as you enter into a new year. So, it's a time for a pause. So, at this time, allow for rest and reflection. Make peace with the darkness and know that brighter days will return. Let the energies of new life and inspiration build slowly within you. And by spring, you'll be bursting with new ideas and energy and ideas. You'll be bursting with new energy and ideas. So maybe instead of, railing against the winter, mark the end of the year by pausing in quiet reflection or celebrating with loved ones. So the three subseasons of winter are Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Capricorn represents the themes of course correction, goal setting, structure, clarity, relationship with your father, and fatherhood. So if you are want to set new goals, this is a great time. This is also why we do set goals at the beginning of the year. For the new year, we do that around this time, around January. And that is also Capricorn season. So this is a great time for thinking about or planning or adding structure into your life. This is a good time to think about your relationship with your father, or how do you feel about fatherhood. Those are rituals, they're rituals and spells that you can do for that. Perhaps gaining clarity on something. Course correction, most definitely, because that's what you get at the end of the year, right? So you're looking at the end of the year and you are assessing everything that has happened. Hopefully, that is what you do. And you think about, okay, this is what happened this past year. What do I want to happen next year? Do I want to keep doing certain things? Do I want to do something new? Do I want to stop certain things? Well, that is what the winter Capricorn season is all about. And the next thing after that, the next sub season of winter is Aquarius. So during that new moon, that theme or those themes are innovation, friendship, community, questioning authority. Aquarius is about letting your freak flag fly. It's about innovating. It's about bursting out of the box. So, what are you calling in, and how can Aquarius help you? So, innovation, doing things differently. How can you do things differently, whether it's romantically or professionally? Friendship, how does friendship fall into your life? How does friendship fit into your life? Or community, how do you fit into the larger community? What part do you play in your larger community? And questioning authority, which is something we really do need to do. A lot of things are legal, but are they right? So you as a person have every right to question authority, to hear to look at laws and say, this isn't right. It might be legal or it might be illegal, but it's not right. Question everything. Do not just lay down and take everything. You want to question. So Aquarius is about doing things differently, and bursting out of that box that either you've put yourself in or other people may have placed you in. And then finally, we have Pisces. Pisces is the last winter season. And as I said before, that if Aries is the baby, Pisces is the old person. It is the person who has gone through all these different things, and it is the highest, I don't know, the highest elevation, or you've just gone through all of these different things, and you encompass, Pisces encompasses all of the qualities from the signs that came before. So Pisces rules, or the Pisces themes, are emotions, artistic expression, intuition, empathy, the higher self. So we're all on a different level. When we're in Pisces season, it's all a new level, because it's about empathy. It's about, again, with the intuition, we're feeling very psychic. We're having those dreams again, like we were having in Cancer season. We're having these dreams that are telling us things, or we're just remembering dreams more often. Of course, this is a great time to record things in your journal, in your magical journal. Feeling emotions, again, you may be in your feels, in your feelings, like Drake, and you might also be wanting to do something artistic. I remember for me during Pisces season, that's when I started learning watercolor. I had wanted to do it for a long time, but Pisces season is actually when I got to it. So I've started watercoloring, and I've bought all kind of paints and brushes, and I really love it. So I really enjoy the artistic expression that I get to have, that kind of got started during Pisces season. So empathy is when we're dealing with other people, and how can we empathize with other people? How can we feel what they're feeling? How can we walk in another person's shoes? And of course, with intuition, we are tapping into that psychic part of ourselves. And the higher self, like that higher part of you, is your higher self. So you definitely want to tap into your intuition and see, what is your higher self trying to tell you? What are the messages that you might not have listened to at other times of the year? Well, the Pisces, you're going to be definitely more of a sponge, and you're going to be hearing and feeling those things. So Pisces is a great time to finish off the astrological year with going to another, intuitive psychic level. Now let's talk about the moon and moon magic. The moon orbits the earth approximately every 29.5 days, and the word month has the moon at its root. Now, over a month's time, the moon goes through various phases while also going through various constellations in the sky. The moon is the closest astronomical body to Earth, and it has much influence on the tides and humans. So at the new moon, the sky is dark and you can't see the moon at all. And over the next few days after the new moon, a sliver of the moon appears, and it soon becomes a larger crescent in the sky. Now, when the moon is increasing like this, it's said to be waxing. So the moon continues to wax or increase until it becomes the full moon, that big, beautiful ball in the sky. Now, after the full moon, the size of the moon decreases a little each day, and this is called waning. So the moon continues to wane or decrease until the new moon, and the cycle begins all over again. So the moon travels through these phases every month without fail. And as the phases of the moon shift, the energies of the universe are also believed to shift. Therefore, considering the phase of the moon can also help the outcome of your spells. So the new moon is good for setting intentions and planting seeds. The waxing moon, when it's getting larger, is for increasing things and for attracting and manifesting. The full moon is for completions and gratitude, and you can also do an extra burst of manifesting if you like. And the waning moon, meaning it's getting smaller, that's for decreasing things in your life, removing and banishing. Now, each phase of the moon can be used to your advantage. If you want to attract something, you can perform your ritual on the new, the waxing, or the full moon. If you want to remove obstacles to your desire, then you can perform your ritual on the waning moon. Now, the waning moon can be quite helpful when you've had difficulties manifesting. Now, sometimes you might be thinking, oh, I wanted to attract this thing, but oh, dang, it's the waning moon. What do I do? Well, here's an example. If you were trying to get a new job, but let's say you were unable to connect with the right person at this new company, you could perform your spell during a waning moon for removing obstacles. And that would clear the way so you could then do an attraction spell during the waxing moon. Does that make sense? Most people use the new and or the full moon for rituals, but there are actually 8 phases of the moon and they can be used accordingly. Now, I should also note that these are just general guidelines, and the specific magical associations of each phase can also vary depending on your culture and tradition. For example, in Celtic traditions, the new moon is associated with the goddess Brigid, who is a deity of fire, healing, and poetry. And in Norse traditions, the full moon is associated with the god Odin, who is a god of wisdom, war, and magic. So if you have a particular culture or tradition that you're following, make sure to look to see if they have any special meanings for the moon. So if you'd like to learn more about moon magic, I recommend the book Moonology by Yasmin Boland. Last but not least, let's talk about the days of the week. So, just like we've talked about other kinds of correspondences, you can also use the days of the week to your advantage. And astrology teaches us that each day of the week also has a particular energy that can be used in your rituals and spells. For example, Sunday is associated with the sun and the element of fire. So you can perform spells for success, creativity, personal power, protection, and healing. Monday is associated with the moon and the element of water. So you can perform spells for love, psychic development, and dreams. Tuesday is associated with Mars and the element of fire. So you can perform spells for energy, passion, protection, strength, courage, and motivation. Personally, I love to do motivation candles on a Tuesday. I'll do like a red candle on a Tuesday, and then that way I'm tapping into the energy of Mars, and those kind of spells help to kind of get me started and give me a good kick in the ass. So Wednesday is associated with Mercury and the element of air. So you can do spells for communication, travel, and learning. So Wednesday is a great day for me to write my newsletter. Sometimes I'll do my podcast as well. And I like to send things out on Wednesdays because that is all about communication with Mercury. Thursday is associated with Jupiter and the element of fire. Jupiter is associated with abundance, health, prosperity, and good luck. So that's the day that I might start sales or I might put a promotion out. I also do my numbers on that day. That's when I like to look at my expenses and see what's what. So that's how I use Thursdays and Jupiter in my rituals. Friday is associated with Venus and the element of water. So, of course, you can do spells for love, attraction, beauty, harmony, art, and pleasure. Friday is a great day, as many of you know, for love spells. It's great for going out on dates. It's great for self love. It's great for writing a love letter for yourself, maybe playing with some paints or some arts and crafts. It's about not working hard. It's about attracting and being easy with yourself. Saturday is associated with Saturn and the element of earth. So that's good for spells for banishing negativity, releasing attachments. It's also good for business transactions and grounding. So, as I've also mentioned, different elements air, fire, water, earth. You can also consider those correspondences when you are choosing the day of the week that you want to do a particular spell. So, for example, if I wanted to do a spell for a new job, I might perform the ritual on a Thursday when the moon is waxing. I would choose Thursday because that day is good for prosperity and success. And I choose a waxing moon because I want to attract a new opportunity. Of course, if you have a different association with a particular day because of your personal preferences or your spiritual tradition, feel free to choose the day of the week that is the most meaningful to you. I hope that today's episode on magical timing has provided some inspiration on how to time your rituals and spells. If there's something you want, don't be afraid to call it in with magic. And if it doesn't work the first time, I highly recommend that you look at the timing. You might have better results at a different time because you are magic. If you want to learn more about using magical timing in your spells, sign up for my Spellcraft mini course. The link is in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, and be sure to tell all your witchy friends. If you have a question or comment, drop me a line at theredsoulflower@gmail.com. That's SOULFLOWER. And I'd love to hear from you. You can also join the Red Soulflower Magic family on Facebook to continue the conversation.